Hello Golden State Warriors fans. We are here once again to bring you the latest news related to our team, and I would like to emphasize how committed we are to improving our performance to achieve great results. Before we dive into this intriguing news, I kindly request you to show your support by clicking the like button, and if you are not yet subscribed to our channel, I invite you all to join us on an exciting journey. Remember to turn on notifications so you don't miss anything.
Warriors risk losing key free agent target to Western Conference rival amid Kaminga drama. The Golden State Warriors offseason has stalled, and the price of inaction may be higher than they anticipated. While the team remains locked in a contract standoff with forward Jonathan Kaminga, one of their top free agent targets, Malcolm Brogdon, is now expected to sign with a Western Conference rival. And unless something changes fast, this could be the first of several missed opportunities. The Warriors reportedly offered Kaminga a 2-year, $45 million deal, but the young star appears reluctant to sign. Sources close to the situation suggest he feels his development has been stifled in Golden State, and he's looking for a fresh start elsewhere. As long as the Kaminga situation remains unresolved, the Warriors are hesitant to finalize any new signings. Several free agents with verbal agreements are still waiting patiently, for now. But as September rolls in, other teams are swooping in with more aggressive offers, and the Warriors are at real risk of losing out. Brogdon could be first domino to fall. Golden State has had eyes on Malcolm Brogdon, the 2023 Sixth Man of the Year and former Rookie of the Year. He would be a solid veteran presence and a capable replacement for Kaminga's production. However, according to Jake Fisher of the Stein Line, serious talks never began because the front office has been laser-focused on resolving the Kaminga contract first. We won't know if the Warriors will pursue Brogdon more aggressively until the roster situation and luxury tax implications become clearer, something that hinges on the resolution of Kaminga's future, Fisher reported. In the meantime, other teams are circling. Eric Pincus of Bleacher Report speculated that Brogdon is likely to land with the Minnesota Timberwolves, writing, "Several teams could use backcourt help: the Timberwolves, Warriors, Kings, and Knicks. My prediction: Brogdon joins the Wolves to support Mike Conley. If that happens, it could trigger a domino effect. Other players like Al Horford and DeAnthony Melton, both linked to the Warriors, may also reconsider their options. The longer the Warriors wait, the smaller their window becomes. Don't sleep on the Timberwolves." It sounds strange to say fans have forgotten about a team that made back-to-back Western Conference Finals appearances, but that's exactly what seems to be happening to the Minnesota Timberwolves. Unlike flashier moves made by teams like Houston, landing Kevin Durant, or OKC, securing their young core with big money deals, Minnesota's offseason has flown under the radar. But quietly, they've re-signed important pieces like Julius Randle and Naz Reid, and they're doubling down on a battle-tested roster. With Anthony Edwards blossoming into a true franchise star, the Wolves are poised to make another deep playoff run. And adding Malcolm Brogdon, a seasoned high IQ defender, could be exactly what they need to get over the hump. Minnesota has struggled to maintain perimeter defense late into the season, often leaving Edwards overworked and exhausted. Brogdon's arrival would not only balance the load but make the Timberwolves even more dangerous come playoff time. If Minnesota snags Brogdon while Golden State hesitates, it sends a strong message, and it just might make the Thunder and other contenders take the Wolves a lot more seriously. Bottom line: Golden State is gambling on Kaminga, and it might cost them everything else. They've already lost time. They might lose Brogdon. And if they're not careful, they could lose their grip on relevancy in the Western Conference. Meanwhile, Minnesota isn't making headlines, but they're making all the right moves. And that could make all the difference. Warriors' window may be closing faster than expected. While the Warriors have long been considered a model franchise, with 4 championships and a core built around Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, and Draymond Green, the current front office is facing increasing pressure. This offseason is starting to expose cracks in their strategy and perhaps even their identity. The biggest concern? Time. Steph Curry isn't getting younger. Draymond Green just turned 35. Klay Thompson left for the Dallas Mavericks, and there's still no clear plan to replace him. Losing out on Malcolm Brogdon, who could have brought leadership, defense, and scoring off the bench or as a starter, is more than just a missed signing. It's a missed message to the rest of the league and, more importantly, to Curry himself. The Kaminga situation is now a litmus test. Internally, the Jonathan Kaminga situation is becoming more than just a negotiation. It's being viewed as a test of how the franchise handles young talent, and whether they're truly committed to building for the future while still trying to compete now. Kaminga has shown flashes of elite potential, particularly in the second half of last season when injuries forced Steve Kerr to give him more minutes. He responded with improved defense, aggressive slashing, and an increased scoring average. Still, there's a sense from Kaminga's camp that he's been underutilized and miscast in a system built around aging stars. If the Warriors lose him, it could further alienate younger players on the roster and hurt their ability to attract or retain talent in a league where development is now a cornerstone of sustainable success. Meanwhile, the West is not waiting. The Western Conference is getting better, and deeper, by the day. The Timberwolves, already strong defensively and battle-tested in the playoffs, adding Brogdon could give them one of the most balanced rotations in the league. Let's not forget. The Thunder are loaded with talent, chemistry, and cap flexibility. The Mavericks, now with Klay Thompson, have doubled down on their shooting and playoff experience. The Kings and Pelicans are younger, healthier, and hungry. And the Rockets, after signing Kevin Durant, are no longer just a developing team, they're a win-now threat. Golden State, meanwhile, is caught between two timelines, the aging core that brought them championships and the younger talent that hasn't fully been unleashed. Reactions around the league. NBA insiders are already discussing the ripple effect of Brogdon potentially choosing Minnesota over Golden State. Some executives believe it's a sign that the Warriors no longer hold the same gravitational pull they once did on the free agent market. 5 years ago, a player like Brogdon would have jumped at the chance to play next to Steph. Now, there's hesitation, one Western Conference scout told The Athletic anonymously. The lack of movement is also frustrating fans, many of whom expected a bold response after last season's disappointing early playoff exit. Social media has been buzzing with criticism toward GM Mike Dunleavy Jr., with some questioning whether the front office has a clear direction heading into the 2025-26 season. What comes next? If Brogdon finalizes a deal with the Timberwolves in the coming days, it could trigger more decisions across the league, and more regret in the Bay Area. Free agents like DeAnthony Melton, Kelly Oubre Jr., and Gary Trent Jr. might quickly be snatched up by other contenders, leaving Golden State with limited options. And if Kaminga officially requests a trade, the Warriors could be forced into a reactive, rather than strategic mode, scrambling to salvage their offseason with a diminished market and fading leverage. Golden State's future hinges on the next 2 weeks. In many ways, these next few weeks could define the Warriors' future for years to come. Will they find a way to bridge the gap between honoring their legendary core and embracing the youth movement? Or will they fall behind as more aggressive teams seize the moment? For now, all eyes are on two players, Jonathan Kaminga and Malcolm Brogdon. The question is no longer just what will the Warriors do? It's is it already too late? Klay Thompson opens up about his time with Steph Curry and the Warriors. For years, Klay Thompson and Stephen Curry lit up the NBA as the legendary Splash Brothers, redefining the art of shooting and helping lead the Golden State Warriors through one of the most dominant dynasties in league history. But until recently, Thompson hadn't truly opened up about what that time, and that bond meant to him. In a heartfelt interview with Lakers legend Michael Cooper, Thompson took a rare moment to reflect on his iconic run in Golden State, the legacy he built with Steph, and the lasting impact of their partnership. "I'm just really proud of what Steph and I accomplished," Thompson shared. "Being part of something so special. It was more than basketball. It was history. A legendary run, a bittersweet exit." Klay's career with the Warriors is already etched into NBA lore. Alongside Curry, he helped deliver 4 NBA championships, 6 finals appearances, and an entirely new era of basketball, one built on pace, space, and near-impossible shooting range. The duo didn't just play the game, they changed it. And yet, Thompson's departure this past offseason, when he signed with the Dallas Mavericks, wasn't the fairy tale ending many had hoped for. He left quietly with little fanfare, despite his undeniable impact on the franchise and the Bay Area community. Still, Thompson isn't bitter. In fact, his tone during the interview was one of gratitude, not grievance. "I'm so thankful for my time with the Warriors," he said. "I'll always be a Splash Brother at heart." The origin of the Splash Brothers name. In the interview, Klay also shared the origin story behind one of the most iconic nicknames in sports, the Splash Brothers. "I think it was in my second year," Thompson recalled. "Steph and I both hit maybe 7 threes, in 3 quarters. A writer in the Bay Area, I think his name was Brian, tweeted something comparing us to the Bash Brothers from baseball. And the name just caught fire. It stuck with us from that day on." Since then, many have tried to crown new Splash Brothers, from Jordan Poole to rising stars around the league. But Klay made it clear, there will never be another duo like him and Steph. "I loved that nickname," he smiled. "It meant you were a true sniper. A real shooter. And when I hear young athletes mention it today, it reminds me just how special those years were." A reunion on Christmas Day. Now the former brothers-in-arms will meet as rivals for the first time, on Christmas Day, no less. The NBA has scheduled the Warriors vs. Mavericks showdown for the holiday spotlight, with tip-off at 5 p.m. Eastern Time, 2 p.m. Pacific Time. It's more than just a game, it's a reunion years in the making, and emotions are bound to run high, both on the court and among fans. While Thompson now wears a different jersey, his legacy in Golden State remains untouched. His No. 11 is all but guaranteed to hang in the rafters at Chase Center, and a statue beside Curry's someday feels inevitable. Legacy sealed, but never forgotten. Klay Thompson may have turned the page in his career, but he hasn't closed the book on the memories. His bond with Curry, and with the Bay, is something deeper than highlights or rings. It's a legacy built on trust, chemistry, and a once-in-a-generation connection. "To be known as a Splash Brother, that's something I'll carry with pride forever," Thompson said. No matter where he plays now, or what jersey he wears, Klay Thompson will always be a warrior in the hearts of fans. The reunion everyone will be watching. As the NBA calendar circles toward Christmas Day, there's one matchup that feels more emotional than the rest: Warriors vs. Mavericks. What once was a dominant backcourt partnership will now become a high-stakes showdown between two old teammates, now on opposite sides. And while Klay Thompson has already suited up for Dallas in preseason activities, fans, analysts, and even former players are eagerly anticipating what it will be like when Klay and Steph share the court again, this time as rivals. "It's going to be surreal," said one longtime Warriors fan on social media. "We've never seen Steph without Klay in a meaningful game. It'll hit differently." Inside the Warriors organization, emotions are just as mixed. Though Klay's departure was reportedly mutual, with both sides ready for a new chapter, it doesn't take away the emotional weight of seeing a franchise icon in a different uniform. How did we get here? The writing had been on the wall for some time. Despite all he gave to Golden State, 2 career-altering injuries, playoff heroics, and loyalty through adversity, contract negotiations stalled last season. The Warriors, navigating cap space issues and the looming luxury tax, reportedly weren't willing to match the long-term security Klay was seeking. Instead, Dallas stepped in, offering a competitive deal and a chance for Klay to join an already potent backcourt featuring Luka Doncic and the newly added Klay Thompson. In many ways, it was a basketball fit that made sense. The Mavericks needed shooting, veteran leadership, and playoff experience. Klay, eager for a fresh start and a chance to prove he still had plenty left in the tank, embraced the opportunity. "This next chapter is exciting for me," Thompson said during his Mavericks introduction. "But I'll never forget where I came from." Curry's reaction, quiet, but telling. Steph Curry hasn't said much publicly about Klay's departure, but those close to the team say it's been an emotional adjustment for the two-time MVP. The two shared more than just the backcourt. They shared history, brotherhood, and the foundation of a dynasty. "They were inseparable on and off the court," said a former Warriors assistant. "It's like seeing Jordan without Pippen. There's a real sense of loss." Don't be surprised if Christmas Day brings more than just competitive fire. There could be moments of reflection, embraces at half-court, and subtle signs of mutual respect. The kind of moments that remind fans why the game is bigger than just wins and losses. The NBA reacts, a changing of the guard. Around the league, Thompson's move, and his reunion game with Curry, is being viewed as symbolic of a broader transition. The Warriors dynasty as we knew it may finally be over, and the new contenders, like Dallas, Minnesota, and OKC, are rising fast. Analysts have started pointing out how Klay's move might be the beginning of a changing of the guard in the West. Golden State, once the team that dictated tempo and style league-wide, is now searching for a new identity, while Thompson is already making headlines as a veteran presence in Dallas. "You don't just replace a player like Klay," said ESPN's Zach Lowe. "You try to evolve, but there's always a void." What the future holds. For Klay Thompson, the future is wide open. He's already made it clear he wants to compete for another championship, and with a Mavericks team that now boasts three-point shooting, star power and depth, it's not out of reach. As for the Warriors, all eyes are on Jonathan Kaminga, Brandon Podziemski, and the younger core that must now step up. But one thing is certain, no one will ever truly fill the shoes of No. 11. And when the ball tips off on Christmas Day, it won't just be another game on the schedule. It will be a tribute to everything Klay and Steph built, and a reminder of how rare and special it really was. Two brothers. Two paths. One unforgettable legacy. And one Christmas Day matchup the world won't want to miss. Draymond Green just got new motivation, courtesy of an NBA star. If Draymond Green needed any extra fuel heading into the new season, De'Aaron Fox may have just provided it. During a recent appearance on Run It Back on FanDuel TV, Fox didn't hesitate when asked who he thinks complains the most in the NBA. His answer? None other than the Golden State Warriors' emotional leader. Draymond will literally clothesline someone and then turn to the ref like, "What did I do?" Fox said, sparking laughter around the table. It was a classic jab, light-hearted on the surface, but just pointed enough to stir the pot. And if there's one thing we know about Draymond Green, it's that he thrives on this kind of talk. A career built on edge, emotion, and championships. Say what you want about Green, his emotional outbursts, his intense energy, or his running dialogue with referees, but his resume speaks for itself. Drafted in 2012 as a second-round pick out of Michigan State, Green wasn't supposed to be a star. But by year 3, he was starting every night, logging 30-plus minutes, and helping lead the Warriors to an NBA title. Now, at 35 years old, Green is a 4-time NBA champion, a 4-time All-Star, and the 2017 Defensive Player of the Year. He's been named to 9 All-Defensive teams, and has become one of the most respected and polarizing voices in the league. He's not a journeyman enforcer hopping from team to team, he's the heartbeat of a dynasty. A subtle shot, or just honest talk. Fox's comments weren't necessarily malicious. He even admitted there's some truth to players complaining when the calls are questionable. A lot of guys definitely do it, Fox admitted. And honestly, sometimes it's justified. The officiating, yeah, it can be bad. I'm not gonna lie. Sometimes you need to say something. Still, when one of the league's rising stars calls you out on national TV, it's hard to ignore, especially for someone like Green, who's made a career out of turning slights into statements. You can bet Draymond has already seen the clip. And knowing him, it's probably pinned to the locker room wall or saved in his phone for that extra push during workouts. November 12th. Mark the date. The first meeting between the Golden State Warriors and the San Antonio Spurs this season? November 12th. And while Fox now plays in Sacramento, the Warriors-Spurs matchup still carries extra heat, with Victor Wembanyama and the young Spurs hungry to make their mark in the West. Expect Draymond to be locked in, and maybe a little more animated than usual. The Warriors, looking to bounce back after an early playoff exit, need every bit of motivation they can get. Fox's playful jab may have given Green exactly what he needed. Fuel for the fire. In the end, De'Aaron Fox may have just given Draymond Green what he loves most, a reason to prove someone wrong. Whether it's with a clutch stop, a fiery rant, or a well-timed technical foul that turns the tide, Green has a knack for showing up when it matters, especially when the spotlight is on. And this season? The spotlight just got a little brighter. A familiar role, a new fire. For over a decade, Draymond Green has embraced the role of the NBA's ultimate agitator, and he doesn't run from it. Whether it's battling LeBron in the finals, barking at refs, or calling out opposing stars, Green has always leaned into confrontation. But now, heading into the 2025-26 season, things are different. The Warriors are no longer the hunted, and Green is no longer just playing for legacy. He's fighting to prove there's still something left in the tank. Klay Thompson is gone. Steph Curry is shouldering more than ever. And questions around the team's future are louder than they've been in years. Fox's comments may have been playful, but they landed at the perfect time to reignite the fire in Golden State's most vocal leader. How the league is reacting. Fox's dig didn't go unnoticed by others in the league. While many took it in stride, some former players and analysts chimed in, calling it unnecessary fuel for a player like Green. You don't poke the bear, especially when the bear already feels disrespected, said Kendrick Perkins on NBA Today. Draymond's got 4 rings. Fox doesn't even have 4 playoff series wins. Fans on social media were split. Some praised Fox's honesty, while others viewed it as disrespect toward a future Hall of Famer. And yet, this kind of narrative is exactly what makes the NBA thrive. It adds storylines, emotion, and anticipation to what would otherwise be another early season game. Can Draymond still deliver? That's the big question. At 35, Draymond's best physical years may be behind him. But mentally? He's as sharp as ever, and still capable of controlling a game with his defense, communication, and leadership. And let's not forget, when motivated, Green has a track record of showing up in the biggest moments. People love to count me out. That's fine. I've been hearing it since Michigan State, Green once said. But when it matters, I'll be there. The Warriors are counting on it. With a younger roster, a retooled bench, and Steph Curry in the back end of his prime, they'll need Draymond to anchor the defense, set the tone, and yes, stir the pot when needed. More than just trash talk. This story isn't just about one comment. It's about what it represents, the growing generational gap in the NBA. Fox, part of the league's young elite, represents a wave of stars hungry to take the crown. Players like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Anthony Edwards, and Cade Cunningham are knocking at the door. Meanwhile, veterans like Green, Curry, and Durant are fighting to keep the door shut a little longer. That tension is what fuels rivalries, shapes playoff narratives, and keeps the league unpredictable. And when Draymond Green finally steps onto the court against the Spurs on November 12th, don't be surprised if he makes a statement. Not with his mouth, but with his play. What's at stake for Golden State? This season could define the Warriors' next 5 years. Another early playoff exit might signal the end of an era. A deep run, though? That could prove the dynasty isn't done just yet. And with Jonathan Kaminga, Moses Moody, and Brandon Podziemski expected to play bigger roles, Green's leadership becomes even more critical, both in the locker room and in the headlines. De'Aaron Fox may have laughed when he made his pick. But Green? He heard every word. And if history tells us anything, that's when he's most dangerous. Steph Curry backs up Draymond Green's bold message to the NBA. The Golden State Warriors are officially on a mission, and they're not keeping it quiet. Draymond Green lit the spark earlier this week after a training session with fellow Warrior and off-season workout partner, Jimmy Butler. With intensity in his voice and confidence in his eyes, Green delivered a clear message to the league. "Feeling great," Green said to the camera. "We're about 6 weeks out. I'm right where I need to be, baby. And we're taking this explicit this year." There was no mistaking his intent. The Warriors are chasing another NBA title, and Green wants the entire league to know it. And guess who's standing right behind him? None other than Steph Curry. A popular Warriors fan account on social media quickly picked up on Curry's reaction to Draymond's message. The two-time MVP responded with fire emojis, a subtle but powerful show of agreement. Curry isn't just watching this run unfold, he's leading it. Last season, Curry proved he's still one of the most dangerous offensive weapons in the league. In 70 games, he averaged 24 points, 4 rebounds, and 6 assists per game, shooting 45% from the field and 40% from deep, all at age 37. Age might be climbing, but Curry's game isn't slowing down. The Butler factor. Let's not forget Jimmy Butler. A mid-season blockbuster trade brought him to Golden State from Miami, and is already making his presence felt. In just 30 games with the Warriors at the end of the 2024-25 season, Butler averaged 17.9 points, 5.5 rebounds, and 5.9 assists while shooting 48% from the floor. When the playoffs came, he stepped it up, dropping 19.2 points per game over 11 appearances, along with 6.6 rebounds and 5.2 assists. While the Warriors ultimately fell short against a stacked Western Conference, with the Thunder eventually capturing the title, they're heading into the 2025-26 season with renewed focus, fresh chemistry, and veteran firepower. With a full season of Jimmy Butler, and proven championship DNA from Curry and Green, Golden State is not just aiming for the playoffs. They're coming for the crown, and any team in their path, including OKC, should take that seriously. And the league has noticed. Draymond's bold statement, amplified by Curry's silent cosign, didn't just energize Warriors fans. It sent a ripple through the NBA. Analysts, players, and insiders already buzzing about Golden State's renewed sense of urgency. After a few seasons marked by inconsistency, aging rosters, and injury setbacks, many had quietly written off the Warriors as a fading dynasty. But with Draymond locked in, Steph still performing at an elite level, and Jimmy Butler now fully integrated into the system, that narrative is quickly shifting. A full season of Butler changes everything. Jimmy Butler isn't just a mid-season addition anymore, He's becoming a core piece of the Warriors' identity. Known for his relentless work ethic, playoff grit, and leadership in high-pressure moments, Butler brings exactly the kind of edge this team needs to make another serious title run. During Media Day earlier this summer, Butler didn't shy away from expectations. "I'm here to win. Plain and simple," he told reporters. "I've played with dogs before, but this locker room? This is a different kind of hunger." Golden State is betting big on that chemistry. And according to sources close to the organization, internal workouts this offseason have been some of the most intense in years. With Curry, Green, and Butler leading by example, younger players like Jonathan Kaminga and Moses Moody are stepping up, hoping to carve out meaningful roles on a contending team. The Thunder in their sights. Still, no one's ignoring the elephant in the Western Conference, the Oklahoma City Thunder. After a breakout season and an impressive championship run, the Thunder now hold the target the Warriors once wore for years. Young, deep, and fearless, OKC is no fluke. But if there's one team with the experience and firepower to challenge them, it's this revamped Warriors squad. And that potential clash is already building hype. Social media lit up after Draymond's comments, with fans and analysts speculating on an eventual Warriors-Thunder playoff collision. Even some OKC players reportedly took note, though none have responded publicly, yet. All eyes on the 2025-26 season. Golden State enters the new season with something to prove, and something to protect. For Curry and Green, this could be one of their final runs together. For Butler, it's a chance to silence doubters who questioned his ability to lead a contender outside of Miami. And for the organization as a whole, it's a moment to show that dynasties don't fade, they evolve. The countdown is on. Preseason tips off in just a few weeks, and if the early signs are any indication, the Warriors are coming into 2025-26 with a chip on their shoulder, and their eyes locked on banner No. 5.